Hey guys, really excited to start the insect-based diet, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. Like, I'm not going to do every day all insects, just because it turns out insects are kind of expensive, and especially when you can only get them on Amazon. And there are some like California sources that are a lot cheaper that would be good, but unfortunately I don't have a lot of time, and they take a lot of time to like contact. But I might honestly try it after this project is over, like with the waxworm thing. But for now, I'm not going to bother my parents all the time to go get insects or anything, so they're getting a little tired of it, you know. I go up to my dad when he's cooking steak, and I'm like, "Hey, Dad, did you know that insects require only 2 grams of feed for 1 gram of weight, and a cow requires 8 grams of feed for 1 gram of weight? So you know we really should switch to insect-based diet because it really makes sense." But yeah, and then he flips over his steak and is like, "You know, if you don't want to eat dinner tonight, you can stay outside." But yeah, as far as the insects that I got a couple different things. I'm going to show you. It's going to be like a little loot boxing thing, like we're on YouTube. It's like, what's in the little bag? I don't know. Let's find out. So one of the first things I got, they were all from Amazon because that would be the fastest shipping, but I got the Jamaican field crickets, and there's this little smoking company that's called like the Newport jerky company that just does a ton of insects. So let's see if we can like get that really close. Yeah, that's the bag, and it's kind of disappointingly light for the fact that it was, I don't know, $8. But yeah, I guess that's just how it goes right now. But we're gonna try a little bit of them because I'm also gonna use them in the pad thai, so I'm not gonna eat too many of them. And also I want to save them for you guys because I know you really, really want to try them. You know, like you just love insects, you just want to go for it. And yeah, but now I'm going to be giving you guys the cookies mostly and that soft stuff because I know you can't handle it. But another thing I got was earthworm jerky. I am going to bring this one in if there's enough. With the weight of this one as well, it feels like there's maybe one piece, like they just stuck a tiny little earthworm inside after they dried it up, and its shriveled husk is in there, just wasting away all lonely. Probably has out that, you know, the harmonica, and it's like all alone, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. But yeah, I'm gonna try this one as well. I'm actually gonna try this one first because one of the points my mom made when I was talking to her about this was she was like, "Yeah, you have all these ideas of like cricket cookies and stuff, but I don't really need protein when I eat baked goods, you know? You're supposed to be replacing cow meat, so it doesn't make any sense if you don't replace cow meat." And I was like, that's very valid. And so I feel like the whole earthworm jerky thing might actually be good. Okay, this is a little sad. This actually makes me very sad. This was like, I mean, talk about deceiving packaging. It's like, this is the bag, this is the real bag. Come on, you get corn nuts in this bag and they fill them to the brim. It's like 50,000 corn nuts. You get beef jerky of cow, which takes like 1,000,000 times more energy to produce. Well, not exactly, but you know, it takes like a lot more water and stuff. Specifically, it takes about, wait, where is it? It's got like, takes about, I don't know. I think it was like 10 grams. I'm not gonna say because I don't have the cited sources, but yeah. And then there's just a tiny little bag. This is just a $5 bag. Yeah, unfortunately, so I read a lot, and like, so 2 billion people eat insects on this planet, and actually, in reality, about 80% of people eat insects without even knowing it on the entire Earth. But 2 billion people have regularly like supplemented insect diets, especially in places like Africa and in parts of the world like the Congo, where it's more difficult to get protein. So they actually, in the Congo, it's really cool. They actually eat about 300 grams of caterpillars in a week per family, just in the capital city, which estimates to about 76 tons of caterpillars just from that city in an entire year. But yeah, I'm gonna try the earthworm jerky really quick, and we'll see if it's any good. That was my mom entering in. Oh, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm gonna try this earthworm jerky and see if it's any good. Okay, let me just like hold it really close to the camera. So it looks kind of like tree bark, or maybe like a tiny snake skin. Yeah, there it is. And see how it tastes.
Funky man.
You want to try some earthworm jerky? Well, too bad, because I'm saving the rest and I'm cutting them into tiny little pieces for our class. Because otherwise none of you are going to get to try it and you'll really be missing out on this wonderful experience that I know you all want. I mean... It's like a funky aftertaste.
Tastes like juicy fruit gum, I bet.
Oh, yeah. That was not that great. Like, the marinade in the beginning was kind of good, but I came into this with a pretty open mind, and I still was kind of like having a little trouble digesting that, but wanting to swallow it actually was the real trouble. But I don't know. I feel like I could get used to it. I feel like that's kind of the problem with the whole insect-based diet thing, is that you're like, I could get used to that, but then why would you want to get used to it when you could just eat like a delicious burger or a delicious steak? And I guess the only argument I can make, because personally I love burgers and steak and chicken and fried chicken and gumbo and sausage and German food, lots of animal, cattle and that. But the only argument that I can make is that like insects are a lot better for the environment, you know? Because, so let's say that livestock production takes about 70% of all agriculture production, according to the FAO, which is like the Federal Agriculture something, which was gives forms to the UN and actually informs the UN on all of their agricultural policy, which is pretty big. And they found that the amount of space insects take up, like the same grams of insects, and the amount of waste they produce in comparison is just minimal, like the bare minimal, in comparison with cows who, you know, they poop everywhere, and then their ammonia, like they release ammonia gas and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. And I mean, cows account for like a quarter of all greenhouse waste. Like, they account for more CO2 emissions than cars, and more harmful gases than cars, which is kind of astounding when you think about the fact that they're animals and that, like, you see cars spew black smoke out the back and you're like, oh, I could get that. You know when you see that truck like go on the highway and just... It's like, you know, I can see how that would be really bad for the environment, but it's just interesting how insects would actually be a lot better for the environment. I don't think I'm going to do the earthworm jerky again, but I'm not going to quit on the whole insect thing, because I feel like you can try plenty of things that are kind of bad, especially, I don't really ever buy food over the internet, so I feel like even just that might not be very promising, but we're going to try this one. Okay, so this is Jamaican field crickets, and they're smoked by the same company, and I'm just going to eat a few of them because I'm actually going to be like making pad thai later, which I'm going to throw this on top of, and it's going to be yummy whether or not the crickets are any good, because pad thai is friggin' delicious. So, and I don't know how to make it, but we're going to go through that together. So, let's see. Jamaican field crickets. Okay, so there are more of these. They're whole. Okay, that was the worst timing of anything. I just like moved my mouth a little bit. Some of the grit from the worm got back in. You know, I was telling myself I was going to be super cool about this, and I was going to be like, yeah, no, totally, bugs, like, everybody's going to be so happy to eat bugs, but right now I really don't want to. But this is for science, and this is to better the environment, so I'm just going to man up, and just going to 3, 2, 1... You know, I could actually live with the crickets a lot more than the earthworms. Like, ugh. I need water though because they've got this strange dusty thing that just is triggering my uvula. I gagged a little bit right there. I'm sorry about that. But they're actually better. Like, and I could see they still have a little strange taste at the end, but honestly, a lot of preserved food that I've had has that strange taste. Like, probably preservative of some sort. But they have like a strangely nutty taste to them. Like I ate an almond and it's like not the whole, like the really sharp almond taste, but it had this like, it's like subtle, like when you eat an almond and then you wait a little while, like you eat a lot of almonds and then like your saliva kind of tastes like it after that. Kind of like that, like it was like a subtle nutty. But if I was going to survive off one of these, it'd probably be the field crickets, and I'd probably throw them in something because I don't know if I could do just them because they are very, like, I bit into it and it's like it exploded into a bunch of powder, which kind of caught me off guard, I'll be honest. Let's see, so we've got earthworms, we've got Jamaican field crickets, and now we've got things that I can't eat right now, but I will be eating later, and they're actually probably going to be a lot better than those. And so I've got the cricket flour, 100% cricket flour. And one of the things I found out about cricket flour is that it'll tell you that it's cricket flour on the internet, but then you'll find out that it will be like 80% flour, like grain, wheat flour, and only 20% cricket. And while I did some research and cricket flour actually is a mix of crickets and flour, that's still a very small percentage. This is like a lot more. And even though this is 100% cricket flour, it still is like, probably does have some regular flour in it. But for its ingredients, it does say powdered small crickets, and that's it. It gives me the species of crickets too. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to making cookies out of this. And speaking of cricket flour uses, just got a little pamphlet from the cricket flour paste. So there's chocolate chirp cookies. Just move that in right there. Bah. Chocolate chirp cookies. And there's banana cricket bread. And then, I don't know if I'm actually going to use these recipes. I might look up one online that's better because sometimes I don't trust recipes I get from, stores. But then there's cran oatmeal cricket, cookies again. Not a big fan of cranberries or oatmeal, so not putting them in my cookies because I don't do health food when it comes to dessert. It's just not how it is. Except protein. I mean, gotta work out, so maybe having a little bit of protein in my cookies would be good for me. But now, one last thing, and this one has by far the prettiest packaging. It's by a place called Bugsalutely. Doop, 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 right there. And it's called cricket pasta. And it says ingredients are 80% wheat flour and 20% cricket flour. So, not a ton of crickets. I mean, not really cricket pasta, but I'm hoping it'll be really good, and that it'll be really good in a mac and cheese, because I'm actually going to eat mac and cheese tonight, but it's not going to be this, it's going to be Costco, and I'm going to throw some pulled pork into it because I've had enough insects for tonight, but I'm looking forward to trying this, and I'm definitely going to, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to cheese it up because it won't have any meat in it, and for me, like, I like having something else in my mac and cheese if I'm going to have it as a dinner, but that's just me personally. But let's see. What are the protein facts? Okay, so it has 12 grams of protein per 55 gram serving, and there are about 7 servings in this pot. And honestly, I'll probably eat a whole box of this. So 12 grams times 7, math is hard, it's 84, and that's like, I take protein powder too, and you're supposed to take like a third of your weight of protein if you want to gain lots of muscle. So honestly, and that's for people who want to get bigger, so I'd assume that eating a couple servings of this would actually give you all the protein that you would need in a day. And honestly, Americans eat a lot more protein than we're supposed to, and I mean, it's not as bad as like the crazy amount of carbs we eat, which is kind of this, but yeah, it would probably be better to eat the cricket pasta and save the burger and meatloaf and bacon for some other time. Never, maybe, but I'm not going there yet, but yeah, we'll see. And I've got 2 of those, so we're going to be making some hella mac and cheese all the live long day. It's going to be great. I also got this little Newport smoking company for making jerky, and they gave me coupons too, in case I want to go back and buy more bugs. Pretty hyped about that. But yeah, I'm going to throw a couple more bug facts at you, and then I think we're going to call it quits this time, you know? Like and subscribe, just kidding, I'm not really a YouTuber, and this is probably never going to happen again. Well, actually, it's going to happen a couple more times, because I got to do a couple more days of video with some bugs, tasty bugs. Going to make some pad thai, and honestly, I'm just going to turn it into a cooking video where I'm going to like edit it, and it's going to be like, oh, you see me sauteing these things, and I'm going to chop, 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 chop. I'm going to be in here, my mother's going to be annoyed, she's going to be like, get out of my kitchen. My dad's going to be annoyed, he's going to be like, get out of my kitchen too, because honestly, they both make really delicious food here, and yeah, hey, don't belong. No. But as far as bug facts go, so let's see. Oh, personally, something interesting I found that kind of goes with chemistry and biology is that, so crickets, well, cows are, you know, mammals, and they produce heat. They have their own inner temperature control over their body, meaning they're warm-blooded, as opposed to insects, which are cold-blooded, and that actually accounts for majority of the reason that insects are a lot more efficient than cows in being a good source of protein, because cows use a lot more of their digested food intake, like all the feed corn that they get. They use a ton of it to regulate the temperature of their body and go to their brains, which are much larger than insects, and go to things that we can't eat, like bones. Lots and lots of bones and different organs that we do eat sometimes, and they can obviously be very delicious, but you'll probably never know because it's in like bologna, and they won't tell you, and they'll be like, yeah, it's cow, or it's pig, or it's the normal meat, the meat that everyone eats. Yes, that's what it is. Definitely not like ground pig's feet. But yeah, and another thing about insects is that, crap, I forgot. What was I going to say? Come on, brain. Just kick it out there. Oh, disease susceptibility. So another really cool thing that could actually be a lot better for the human race in the long run and the short run is that insects are a lot less genetically similar to us. So, like, take a pig for instance. Recently, well, relatively recently, there was the swine flu, which was caused by domesticated pigs developing a flu strain, and then that flu strain going to humans and being very deadly to humans because it was much stronger than the normal flu strains that we get. And it happened because pigs are very similar to humans. Like, we use them in research studies all the time, and there was actually a whole paper written about possibly using pig organs to replace human organs. Didn't work, but pig blood is used as a very close replicator to human blood in experiments where it wouldn't be ethical to test on human subjects. And yeah, that's a whole other issue, the whole ethical animal treatment thing, but pigs are pretty tasty, so yeah. But insects are a lot less genetically similar to us, so they are a lot less likely to give us diseases when we eat them. There are also a lot more species of insects that are edible. We know of at least 1,000 species of insects that are edible, and insects make up over 50% of the species on this earth. And of 1,000 insects, like 1,000 species of insects that we can eat,
They aren't as disease-ridden because they're not genetically similar to us, and they're a lot easier to store in smaller containers and feed waste that we would never eat. Like, you could feed them your orange peels, your apple slices that you wouldn't have eaten anyway. You could feed them, like, poop if you wanted to. You could feed them a lot of organic wastes that cows won't eat. Instead, we feed cows corn, and we could be using that feed corn to grow not like human feed corn or many different plants, and we could be feeding more and more humans if we switch to an insect-based diet. And yeah, that's all I got today, but thank you for joining me, and I'm definitely editing this video because it's like 20 minutes long and I want to eat dinner. I'm very hungry. Yeah, very, very hungry. I want to eat dinner. Thank you. Have a lovely night.